يا ابو على السنان يا اخي اتمنى دابيك ابوي عبد القادر يا سيدي العياط عليك يا ابو على السنان يا ابوي عبد القادر اكون معنا حاضر نسينا من المقادر يا نفع الله بك سيدي العياط عليك شيخي والنادي بيك يا ابو على السنان.
Peace. I'm Rami Salam El, and I thank you for joining us. Today's study class is going to be on the Moorish literature of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And it's going to be, we're going to be reading the Moorish leader's historical message to America. And the Moorish leader would be Noble Drali. Let's just get right into it. I was rereading this before I started the video, and it's a part that I can't wait to get to. Because I was ignorant, I didn't know about it at all. So, never mind. Let me just get to it. Oh, and if you want to follow along, you can send an email. You can click the link below in the YouTube description. I have a link there. But if not, just send an email to IAMHHtemple@gmail.com. Once again, IAMHHtemple@gmail.com. Or if you just do an internet search for Moorish Leaders Historical Message to America, you should be able to find a link for it. Let's get right to it. Moorish Leaders Historical Message to America. In connection with the aims, objects, rules, and regulations of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement of our organization, covering its inception, rise, and progress, and of the Mohammedan religion, which I hope will be satisfactory to you and be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. I further most anxiously, let me read that. I got to read this again. I'm going to be stopping and doing some commentary. I hope that this message will be the means of causing you at all times to adhere to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice in your relations with mankind in general. So with all people, not excluding Europeans or the quote-unquote white man, everyone. Let me continue. I further most anxiously hope this brief statement will help you to more clearly see the duty and wisdom of at all times upholding those fundamental principles which are desired for our civilization of our posterity, such as obedience to law, respect and loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois, November 29, 1926. The name Moorish Temple of Science changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, May 1928, in accordance with the legal requirements of the Secretary of the State of Illinois. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity and teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. A national organization with a Rotarian complexion as it relates to branch temples became obvious when the increasing number of inquiries from men and women in different sections of the country concerning the purpose of the organization. There are branch temples in 15 different states at this time. Since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation, and an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed in the Cook County Recorder's Office in Illinois. Inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran, we have it as the revealed word of God Allah. We shall foster the principles of its teachings among our members. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution. Hold on. Take one moment. Read that sentence one more time. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution. Now, if Prophet Noble Drew Ali is saying that the American Constitution for the United States of America, that is one of the greatest documents of all time, we probably should study it. What you think? Let me continue. The Mohammedan religion, and that to spell that is Mohammedan, Mohammedan. The Mohammedan religion is the least appreciated and probably the most misunderstood of the world's great religions. This is especially true in our Western world. Try to understand what Mohammedanism stands for and some of the things it has contributed to the world. Muhammad was the founder of the Mohammedan religion, what we now know as Islam. It originated 13 centuries ago on the Arabian Peninsula, where the streams of commerce and culture met and mingled in the Middle Ages, where the markets of exchange were stationed for treasures of India and the products of the Mediterranean coast. There, this religion was established in the unprecedented short period of 20 years, and unlike many other religions, without the aid of any royal patronage and support. Buddhism had its Asoka, A-S-O-K-A. Judaism its Joshua. Christianity its Constantine. Constantine, look that up. Christianity, Constantine. But Mohammedanism had no person of royal rank and power to assist in its establishment and spread. Today, this religion is acknowledged by nearly 250 million souls and extends over an area equal to 1/3 of the globe. And mind you, this was written in 1928 or 29, before 1930. So I'm not sure what the updated total of amount of Muslims or Mohammedans, the ancient or the older term, I guess. I'm not really sure how many followers that is right now, so it would be interesting to see and compare. But continuing, and mind you, this is 2016, in case you're watching in the future. From Arabia, it spread eastward over Persia, Turkestan, Afghanistan, westward across Syria, Asia Minor, Turkey, southward to Africa, covering more than half of that continent. Whoa, whoa, hold on, let me read that again. Let's read. This is where the religion spread. From Arabia, it spread eastward over Persia, what is now known as Iran, Turkestan, Afghanistan, westward across Syria, Asia Minor, Turkey, southward to Africa, covering more than half of that continent. It found its way to India and beyond, to the islands of Sumatra, Sumatra, Java, and Borneo. To the early representatives of this faith, the world's debt is incalculably great, for it was they who transmitted the treasures of Greek literature from the Middle Ages to the Renaissance. They who originated the graceful forms of which the Taj Mahal and the Alhambra are the most famous examples. Taj Mahal, Alhambra. Let me continue. It was they who contributed to the sciences of algebra and chemistry. Astronomy and medicine. They who dotted the Saracen Empire. Saracen Empire. Look that up. Saracen. Saracen Empire with universities, and who built at Baghdad and Cairo the most renowned universities of the world. During those centuries of ecclesiastical, that's a tough one. Ecclesiastical is spelled Ecclesiastical. During those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, when the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities save those that were theological, causing the talent that reproduces to supplant the genius that creates. Whoa, let me read that one more time. During those centuries of ecclesiastical despotism, when the Christian church suppressed all intellectual activities save those that were theological, causing the talent that reproduces to supplant the genius that creates. Mohammedans did. That's a deep sentence. That's some words there. I gotta look a lot of those up. This is Noble Drew Ali again. Mohammedans did all in their power to encourage and stimulate research in every branch of human inquiry. Mohammedans did all in their power to encourage and stimulate research in every branch of human inquiry. The Moors, or Mohammedans, understand what's going on. The Moors, or Mohammedans, synonymous, added to the beauty and grandeur of Spain. For centuries, art, science, literature, and chivalry flourished among them, while the rest of Europe was still sunk in the gloom of the Dark Ages. The Moors were the most ingenious and industrious of the subjects of Spain. Their expulsion from Spain in 1610 was one of the chief causes of the decadence of that country, for both agriculture and industry fell into decay after their departure. Okay, this is the part I wanted to get to. Now, I had read this plenty of times before, but in my mind I always knew that Moors were kicked out, they fell in 1492. So when I read their expulsion from Spain in 1610, I said, man, what happened in that year specifically, or around that year? So I did an internet search, and I didn't quite find something directly there. I just was using Wikipedia real quick, and I didn't find anything precisely on 1610. It was like a history of Spain, but right in that gap, it was a link you could click to go to Moriscos. And that is Morisco, Morisco. And so then from there I started looking, and then I clicked on the expulsion of the Moriscos. And I'm just going to read to you the first little paragraph on Wikipedia under expulsion. At the instigation of the Duke of Lerma and the Viceroy of Valencia, Archbishop Juan de Ribera, Philip III expelled the Moriscos from Spain between 1609, Valencia, and 1614, Castile. They were ordered to depart under the pain of death and confiscation, without trial or sentence, to take with them no money, bullion, jewels, or bills of exchange, just what they could carry. They kicked them out and said, "You just get whatever you can carry. You gotta get up out of here. Can't take nothing with you. Nothing." Man, no money, nothing. Let me keep reading. Estimates for the number expelled have varied, although contemporary accounts set the number at around 300,000, about 4% of the Spanish population. The majority were expelled from the Crown of Aragon, modern-day Aragon, Catalonia, and Valencia, particularly from Valencia, where Morisco communities remained large, visible, and cohesive. And Christian animosity was acute, particularly for economic reasons. Here's the key. Some historians have blamed the subsequent economic collapse of the Spanish Eastern Mediterranean coast on the region's inability to replace Morisco workers successfully with Christian newcomers. Many villages were totally abandoned as a result. I'll just stop right there. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Let me read this again. Understand what it just said here. 300,000 estimates. Probably was more than that, way more than that, but we'll roll with that. 300,000. This is just off Wikipedia. Kicked out only with what you can carry. Moriscos, which are Moors that converted over to being Christians. Okay, our people. 300 kicked out, 1610. And their departure, our ancestors' departure from Spain, and it was the chief cause for the economic collapse, according to some historians. That's what it says on Wikipedia. I'm going to read this to you again. This is Noble Drew Ali back in 1928 and 29. The Moors were the most ingenious and industrious of the subjects of Spain. Their expulsion from Spain in 1610 was one of the chief causes of decadence of that country, for both agriculture and industry that fell into decay after their departure. My man was talking this, and this is before Wikipedia. Got to know some history, man. Got to know some history. Wow. I'm sorry. This part right here was the part I was talking about earlier. And it just was amazing because I never knew these figures or this information. So, I'm a student, always willing to learn. Let's get back to it. I got to get back in the teacher role. Excuse me. Mohammedanism makes no distinction between high and low, rich and poor. It is like the sky. It has room for all. The Quran should be of interest to all readers. It is the Bible of the Mohammedans, ruling over the customs and actions of over 200 millions of people. It is a work of importance, whether considered from a religious, philosophical, or literary viewpoint. Also can be said about this, Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, just so we're clear. I do have a Quran also. It's not over here right now, but I do have it. Anyways. In the promotion of plans for the betterment of mankind, there has ever been some kind of opposition. And strange as it may seem, such opposition has come from sources where there were no ideas or the lack of courage to force attention to ideas. Whether in church, state, or the social community, any attempt to do anything out of the usual way seldom fails to receive criticism. Not because the course cannot be pursued legally. Not because the course cannot be pursued legally, or that it is unreasonable, but because it has been considered in terms as new. The Moorish Science Temple of America has received some opposition and criticism. The opposition has come, in the main, the opposition has come from certain Christian ministers. They have expressed themselves as being opposed to our propagation of the Mohammedan religion, possibly because the promotion of the Mohammedan faith among our people in the United States is considered by them in terms as something new. Whatever the reasons may be for their opposition, the legal right to oppose citizens, individuals, and organizations alike for their religious belief does not exist in the United States. The door of religious freedom made by the American Constitution swings open to all, and people may enter through it and worship as they desire. Take a sip. Excuse me. All right, let's get back to it. Worship as they desire. Without religious freedom, no search for truth would be possible. Without religious freedom, no discovery of truth would be useful. Without religious freedom, religious progress would be checked, and we would no longer march forward toward the nobler life which the future holds for the races of men. Without religious freedom, there would be no inspiration to lift our heads and gaze with fearlessness into the vast beyond, seeking a hope eternal. It is a sad weakness in us, after all, to oppose our fellow men for their religious beliefs. And if there are angels who record the sorrows of men as well as their sins, they certainly know how many and deep are the useless sorrows that spring forth from such opposition. Possibly, love and time will cancel our ancient hatreds in this regard, and prove that in mankind, tolerance is better than unwarranted opposition. Let me read that one again. Possibly, love and time will cancel our ancient hatreds in this regard, and prove that in mankind, tolerance is better than unwarranted opposition. In connection with our religious aims and beliefs, we must promote economic security. In connection with our religious aims and beliefs, we must promote economic security. The preaching of economic security among us is by no means as widespread and intensive as the circumstances demand. No other one thing is more needed among us at this time than greater economic power. Better positions for our men and women, more business employment for our boys and girls, and bigger incomes will follow our economic security. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. We shall be secure in nothing until we have economic power. A beggar people cannot develop the highest in them, nor can they attain a genuine employment of the spiritualities of life. Our men, women, and children should be taught to believe in the capacity of our group to succeed in business, in spite of the trials and failures of some of them. Trials and failures in business are by no means confined to any particular group of people. Some business ventures of all people fail. We have many men and women among our group who are qualified, both by training and experience, who are shining lights in the business world of all the people. We have many men and women among our people who are qualified, both by training and experience, schooling, and real life situation. You feel what I'm saying? He's dropping jewels. Who are shining lights in the business world of all the people. It is a sad weakness in us as a people that we have withheld the very encouragement, support, and patronage that would have made some of our worthy business ventures a grand success. And worst of all, have joined in the condemnations of them when they failed. Except in cases of actual dishonesty, discourtesy, lack of service, and actual unreliability, our business enterprises in every field of endeavor should have lulled the confidence, cooperation, and patronage whenever and wherever they can be given. Wow. Listen to them. You know, the whole idea of buy black. Listen to the sentence one more time. Except in cases of actual dishonesty, discourtesy, lack of service, and actual unreliability, our business enterprises in every field of endeavor should have lulled the confidence, cooperation, and patronage whenever and wherever they can be given. Whenever and wherever. As much as you can, all the time. Support your own people. even though we're all one people. But speaking on national principles, we should be supporting our nation of people. Unless they're dishonest or discourteous, lack of service, or unreliable, then, hey, you're not presenting an equal level of product and service. It's deep, man. Let me continue. Read carefully the doctrines of the Moorish Temple of America. It contains our hopes, aims, rules, and articles of religion. Every member should have a copy. In conclusion, I urge you to remember there is work enough for all to do in helping to build a better world. The problems of life are largely social and economic. In a profound sense, they are moral and spiritual. Have lofty conceptions of your duties to your country and fellow man in general, and especially those with whom you deal. Have lofty conceptions of your duties to your country and fellow man in general, and especially those with whom you deal. This includes such honesty and righteousness as will cause you to put yourself in the other fellow's place. Look for the best in others and give them the best that is in you. Have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. Have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. Have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. Come on, man. Brighten the hopes of our youth in order that their courage be increased to dare and do wondrous things. Adhere at all times to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I am your affectionate leader. I shall continue to labor day and night, both in public and private, for your good, thereby contributing to the welfare of our country and its people as a whole. Noble Drew Ali. Thank you. Peace.
Just because it's in print doesn't mean it's the gospel. People write negative things because they feel that's what sells. Good news to them doesn't sell.
How has it impacted you?
My
touring, records?
album's #1 all over the world. All over the world. America's the only one because I don't want to say too much.
But it's not #1 in the United States.
It's conspiracy, yeah. I will never stop helping and loving people the way Jesus said to. He said, continue to love, always love, bring on the children, imitate the children, not childish, but childlike.
The return of the black Moors with no fez. It's eerie like that documentary on Lisa Lopez. Pentagrams, pyramids, conspiracies with go-heads. Knock down the levees, knock down the projects. Start another project, build another object. A drive-through touchscreen doctrine for me to digest. Just horses with our blinders on, driving by the obvious, riding by the obvious, flying by the obvious. Regardless who you vote for, if the mind don't grow and the poverty line don't go, but the dope keep coming and the TV keep flashing images of a sports car, then you bound for a coke war. The meat get clowned by the coke law, the sheep get drowned in the folklore, then lulled to sleep by Tom Brokaw. What a pity. The hope on the politician's tongue never ever trickles down to the city. Yeah. So if a nigga put a president's mask on and run up in the bank with a Mac saying gimme, gimme, I ain't glad at him, but I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. Look, if anybody asks you who I be, say a painter with a felt pen who drew Ali. I'm like Cassius when I blast molasses out the ass of the masses. From Fulton Street Mall to Gratiot, I'm handing out free at last kits. Yo Jay, where your staff at? Green said you threw it, yeah, I outgrew it. Some blog said you blew it, nigga fuck your blog. Jigga Man said you can't knock the hustle, dog. I'm on the same launching pad that shot Russell Law. That's why I stay Dougie. You can ask the tongue, that's why I stay Dougie. That's why I stay Dougie. Ask Tumbling Dice.